Good evening and welcome to the April 13th meeting of the Yukon Planning Commission. We have a lot of people online tonight, so bear with us. When it comes your time to speak, there'll be a little delay, so we'll try to get through this best we can. And Kathy, will you call the roll, please?
Chairman Baker.
Here.
Vice Chairman Davis. Commissioner Gerba.
Here.
Commissioner Geis.
Here.
Commissioner Wright.
Here.
Also attending is Attorney Miller, Cindy Wright, City Planner, Mitchell Hort, Assistant to the City Manager, and myself, Secretary Kathy Johnson.
And can we have those that are online that weren't called identify themselves if you're on the conference?
Who was that? We didn't hear you. The chairman's asked if you're online, if you would identify yourself so we know who's here.
Yes.
I know we got Bradley Reed, Mark Grubbs, Brian Neely, David Rhodes. Who else do we have online? Okay. Is that correct? Is that the people that's online right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I have an item I need to read here, and the chairman will get started. Any participants wishing to speak on an agenda item or during the visitors section will be unmuted during those items and will be allowed to speak one at a time. Before addressing the board, please state your name, address. The chairman will recognize each participant wishing to speak. If connections are lost, the city will attempt to restore communications for a maximum of 30 minutes. And if the communications cannot be restored, the meeting will be reconvened at a certain date and time and place. Mr. Chairman, you have the floor to go ahead and go through the agenda.
All right. Item 1 is the approval of minutes from the March 9th meeting. Hopefully you've all read the minutes. Any discussion on the minutes from March 9th?
I've just got one correction really quickly. Hang on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
On item 2, it just refers to Commissioner David versus Davis, stating they would like a motion to approve the minutes from the February 10th, 2020 meeting.
Okay.
Just like to just correct that.
Okay.
Hearing no other comments, do I have a motion to approve the amended minutes from the March 9th meeting?
I'll make a motion. Motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Having a motion and a second, call the roll.
Chairman Baker.
Yes.
Commissioner Gerba.
Yes.
Commissioner Geis.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Item 2 is visitors. If we have anybody online who wishes to speak about an item that is not on the agenda. Hearing none, moving to item 3. To hear a request by Tim Smith for a circular driveway curb cut located at 7000 North Frisco Road, Yukon, Oklahoma. So do we have someone online to speak to that item?
No, Mr. Chairman, he was unable to do that. I can answer your questions if you have questions specific to it. I've talked to Mr. Smith in detail on this.
This seems to be no different than the other curb cuts we've done on other large lots.
That is correct. We've done this. This is out on Frisco Road as well.
Okay. Anyone of the commissioners have a anything on this item? Anyone else online wish to speak to this item? Can I have someone read the draft motion?
I'll read it. In the case of the request by Vintage Dwellings LLC to install a new curb cut at 7,000 North Frisco Road. We have read the staff report and received testimony at the public hearing. We find ourselves in agreement with the staff findings, including all plans and attachments cited in the staff report. I move that this item be approved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
And was that Commissioner Gerba or Commissioner Wright? Commissioner
Yes,
Gerba?
sir.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item? Kathy, call the roll, please.
Chairman Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerba,
Yes.
Commissioner Geis,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Item 4 is to hear a request by RCH Properties LLC for a reverse lot split located at 111 Cedar Avenue, Yukon, Oklahoma. That is lots 22, 23, 24, 25, and 27, Block 21, Town of Yukon, Canadian County. Someone to speak to this item. Would you say your name and address, please?
Karen Barlow, 1048 Lynn Lane, Yukon,
Okay,
but it's 4111 Cedar, Yukon.
okay. Go ahead, just tell us what you want to
We
do.
would like to split that lot so we can build 2 more houses on it. We got a variance approved last week, and that's what we want to do.
Okay. And hopefully the commissioners have all read this packet and looked at the maps. This is over on Cedar. There is an existing home, and the applicant wishes to add 2 more houses, and the staff has put in 2 conditions. One is that the primary structures have to be a minimum of 10 feet apart, and the driveways, which I'm assuming have to be paved and not gravel,
That's correct.
must accommodate 2 side-by-side vehicles. Are you okay with these accommodations?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any questions on this item from the commissioners?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is Commissioner Gerba. So basically what we've got is we've got the property line is a foot and a half too close on one situation, and then the lot area is deficient. We're looking at, this reads that the lot area is 20,874 square feet versus the 30,000 required. That represents about a 30% variation.
That's correct.
Okay, I just want to basically clarify that, because when we look down at the staff comments on item number 2, it says minimum lot area is 10,000 square feet versus the 30,000 square feet. It's under 2A,
Right, on 2A.
minimum lot area.
That is in error.
Okay, so that should read 30,000 on item 2A for the minimum lot area.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, okay, thanks.
And the minimum lot coverage,
Cindy.
it says the minimum lot frontage is 80 feet, but I believe the existing lots on Cedar are not 80 feet. Is that correct, staff?
Basically, in the older part of town, you take the average of the setbacks of all the houses, and that's how you come up with your setback. Because the right-of-ways over there, they're 80 foot wide, so it's abnormal for the newer parts of town. So it would be the average of the setbacks of all those houses that are currently there, the 4.
Okay.
So Mitch, with this, splitting these lots, would those be approximately the same as most of the surrounding lots?
Most of
or
those,
standard?
most of those houses down there on a 50-foot by 120 or 140-foot deep lot, so it's typical for that area of town.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have anybody online wishing to speak to this item? Any of the commissioners have anything, or do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. In the case of application for a lot split for 111 Cedar Avenue submitted by RCH Partners LLC, we have read the staff report and received testimony at the public hearing. We find find ourselves in agreement with staff findings. I move that this item be approved with the following conditions. One, all single-family homes with primary structure must be kept minimum of 10 feet apart. And number two, driveways must each accommodate 2 side-by-side vehicles.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was that?
So Commissioner Gerba.
Gerba, okay.
Motion and a second. If I have no further discussion, Kathy, please call the roll.
Chairman Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerba,
No.
Commissioner Geis,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
No.
And we do not have Commissioner Davis. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So we have a 2-2 vote, and that is a no. Is that correct?
No, that's correct.
Okay.
Denied, takes a minimum 3.
Okay.
So what do we do? Reapply?
Actually, this is a recommendation to the city council, and you're more than willing,
Lot-
more than,
Lot splits are here, they do not go on to council.
that's right, they don't, do they?
We'll just have to talk to the judge to see what our next steps would be from here.
Okay.
And you'll call me?
All right.
Thank you.
Item 5, to hear a request by Brad Reed, Craft and Toll and Associates, on behalf of Country Equipment Rentals LLC for a final plat, a tract of land situated within a portion of the southwest quarter of Section 19, Township 12 North, Range 5 West of the Indian Meridian in Yukon, Oklahoma. Do we have anyone from Craft and Toll online?
Yes, sir. Brad with Craft and Toll right here.
And can you say your name and address again, please?
Brad Reed, 300 Point Parkway Boulevard.
All right, and just tell us what you'd like to do.
So this is a final plat. It's 4 acres. It's just north of Vandements, west of the Bounce Academy. Right on the staff report, we have no issues with anything in there.
Yeah.
If you have any particular questions, I'd be happy to answer them though.
And this is the lot directly west of Bounce Academy?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And the only thing you're asking for is a final plat?
That's correct.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioners? Any questions from anyone else online? Hearing none, may I have a motion, please?
Yeah, I'll take that. In the case of the application for a final plat by Country Equipment Rentals LLC, we have read the staff report and received testimony at the public hearing. We find ourselves in agreement with staff findings cited in the staff report. I move that this item be recommended for approval to the city council.
And I second.
Having a motion and a second, any further discussion? Kathy, please call the roll.
Chairman Baker,
Yes?
Commissioner Gerba,
Yes.
Commissioner Geis,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Okay. Our next item is to hear a request by Mark Grubbs, Grubbs Consulting, for a final plat on Brighton Business Park, located at 1508 and 1516 Commerce Street, Yukon, Oklahoma, lots 4 and 5 of Block 1 and Westport Commerce Park, in addition to Yukon, Oklahoma.
Good evening. This is Mark Grubbs. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes.
Go ahead.
1800 South Sarah Road. On behalf of the applicant, what you have before you tonight is a final plat application that is conformance with the preliminary plat application that was previously approved by City Council. We have reviewed staff's recommendations and agree with them, and I would be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
There are 2 additions that the staff have made. One is a note to the preliminary plat stating the provision of screening on the south boundary of the plat, and a statement of maintenance responsibility. And note number 2 is to add a note to the plat stating that all structures shall have a brick facade on all sides. Have you seen this, these notes and agree?
Yes, I have seen those notes, and we do agree.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioners? Any comments from anyone else online? Hearing none, can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Was that Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Okay. Can you read the motion, please?
Sure. In the case of the application for final plat by Grubbs Consulting LLC on behalf of Bryden Capital LLC, we have read the staff report and received testimony at the public hearing. We find ourselves in agreement with the staff findings cited in the staff report. I move that this item be recommended for approval to the City Council with the following conditions. Add a note to preliminary plat stating the provision of screening to the south boundary of the plant and statement of maintenance responsibility. Number 2, add a note to the plat stating that all primary structures shall have a brick facade on all sides.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Kathy, call the roll.
Chairman Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerba,
Yes.
Commissioner Geis,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
And item 7, to hear a request by Mark Grubbs, Grubbs Consulting LLC, on behalf of the Commons of Yukon LLC, Glenn Bowden, for a planned unit development located on Health Center Parkway and Professional Circle, lots 1, 4, and 5, Block 1 and Lot 1, Block 2 of the Commons, according to the plat recorded in Book 9 of Plats, page 141, filed in the offices of the County Clerk of Canadian County, Oklahoma. And this is over where all the other medical buildings are. Hopefully you've been over there and taken a look at it.
This is Mark Grubbs, 1800 South Sarah Road, on behalf of the applicant. What you have before you tonight is a PUD. The objective of the PUD is to produce the same type of structure, but allow for smaller lots with a larger coverage, so that to allow for users to come in and build buildings of smaller size as individuals want to own some of those buildings. So this allows for either smaller or larger buildings. We have worked with staff on the PUD. We have made some changes per the staff's recommendations. There are 2 requested PUD revisions within the staff report. We have reviewed those. We do agree with those, and I will be happy to answer any questions.
And for the commissioners at home, the differences between the code and the proposal and the PUD are in paragraph 2 under discussions and findings.
This, this is currently under a PUD, but we had to write a new PUD to override the existing PUD
Right.
to allow for this. This will allow for the referenced lots to be subdivided into smaller lots.
Questions from the commissioners?
Parking lots that you have noted in the site plan, are those the existing parking lots that are already there?
Yes, there are, majority of them are existing parking lots. There is one small addition that's up at the northwest corner. It's kind of, it fronts lots 1 through 5 of block 1. So there's the possibility that we would add more parking there. But majority of the parking you're seeing is the existing parking.
Okay. Any other questions from commissioners or anyone else online?
Yeah, I've got one for Mr. Hort. Just kind of curious as far as consistency with some of the other properties. To me, it seems like it's fairly consistent with what's there. Is this a major variation in what's already been developed on adjacent sites? Or maybe not adjacent, but in the area?
I think probably you need to refer that to Cindy, our city planner, but to me, it does fit within the context of what's currently out there. It is a little bit different than the larger structures, but it is a trend that is here and now that wants smaller footprints than larger footprints, and that's what they're trying to do. But Cindy would be the one to be answered the best.
I would agree with Mitchell. That is the case. I believe presently there are larger structures on site. This particular PUD would permit the smaller sizes to come have a little bit larger coverage on the site. And it is the trend now that if you go and look at other light medical office complexes or just general office complexes, the trend is going towards the smaller sites so that they could be sold off individually.
Like, and generally kind of maybe smaller clinics also versus a larger multi-office clinic?
That is correct. A lot of, you'll see a lot of the physicians that work in the larger hospitals wanting their smaller offices close by.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, could I have a motion?
I'll take it. In the case of the application for a PUD submitted by Grubbs Consulting LLC on behalf of Commons of Yukon LLC, we have read the staff report and received testimony at the public hearing. We find ourselves in agreement with staff findings. I move that the planned unit development document for the subject property be recommended for approval to the City Council with the following conditions. Condition 1, on page 3 of the draft PUD, note what type of development, if any, there is to the west. That's in Oklahoma City side. And to the south, beyond professional circle. Item 2, on page 4, the last sentence under section 8 reference sections 8.1 through 14.0 instead of 9.0.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Kathy, call the roll.
Chairman Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerba,
Yes.
Commissioner Geis. Yes. Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome to Yukon. Any other new business?
Mr. Chairman, there's no new business tonight.
Well, I want to thank everybody for getting through this. We'll probably have to do this a few more times and before we all get back to business as usual, but we have to keep the business of Yukon moving forward, so I do appreciate everybody logging in tonight. Any of the commissioners have anything?
This Commissioner Gerber, I've got one thing. That was remarkably smooth. I'm pretty impressed. Great job with the IT crew there in the city.
I agree.
I agree. Well done, guys.
Our next meeting is on May the 11th, 2020. Hearing nothing else, meeting's adjourned.